Hi everyone, and welcome to the Weekly Woo. So we pulled lizard, turmeric, and red jasper. So I want to start with red jasper. You know, this week is in many ways, astrologically, as far as cosmic weather is concerned, it's more peaceful than some of the ones we've had recently in the past. We have Mercury having left its shadow. We have Mars going direct. And although it's going slow, Mars, we're starting to feeling our drive return. And definitely the lessons of 2020 are very clear. They should be at this point. And I don't like the word should, but like if you could encapsulate this year in a mantra, what would it be? And to really work with that, there's something so rich and powerful that has been gained by all of these constraints, restrictions, blockages, and even rejection. I really want you guys to see that if you got a lot of no this year, that in actuality that is infinite spirit, creator, whatever you call your connection with what made you. There is a plan that is greater than we can see. And for each and every one of us, even these no's and rejections and delays are actually on our side. So I know that was something I've been talking about the last couple of weeks of we think we know what it should look like, what getting what we want should look like. But in fact, we are so limited in our human view. And that once we surrender to a larger perspective, a humility to say, I surrender to a higher being, a higher destiny, if you will, then it's allowed to work through us. So back to red jasper. Anytime we work with crystals that are red, we're working with our base chakra. This is about the very fundamentals of survival. It's about how we feel about our ability to trust life and trust ourselves, that no matter what comes our way, no matter what challenge comes in, no matter what opponent comes in, that we are able to handle it and to turn that challenge to a victory. So its key word, red jasper, is nurturing. And so we're actually in eclipse season. We have an eclipse in Gemini, a full moon eclipse in Gemini, next Sunday, Monday, depending on where you are on the planet. So all week we're leading up to that. Now, eclipses are a huge topic, and you can Google that so much. I made a lot of videos on it, but specifically with this eclipse, it's in the sign of Gemini, so the mental energy, right? Our thinking mind, our we have an emotional body and a mental body and an etheric body, and there's so many layers of what we actually are. Well, that mental body is going to be working overtime. And the best way to deal with that is to disengage from media and technology, TV, and to get back into nature, which is really what this base chakra represents, is your connection with the earth, with the planet that you're on. So red jasper is saying we need some nurturing, and I want to encourage you guys to get out in nature. Now, this is also a holiday week, which means that we may be with family, we may not, and always holiday season brings up the wounds of the past. So perhaps there's places where you need to be that loving mother and father to yourself. And I'll link a video I made about that here. Next, lizard spirit. When we encounter lizard as a totem, it is a reminder to listen to our dreams. Now, this is twofold. It both means what is coming up when you're sleeping? What are the messages from the spirit world when you're sleeping? What is the messages from your subconscious while you're sleeping? I have sort of split vision and understanding of what dream world is. I believe it's both us really purging all that we're taking in all the time and really working through issues that we may not be dealing with in the present moment while we're awake. But I also believe it's a time where we can be getting messages from all that which we cannot see, which is actually the majority of that which is. So our dreams are going to be really important right now. And when we're in eclipse season, that is really amplified. Now we also have a lot of activity with Neptune. Neptune is aspected in this eclipse, and it's also, it's been going direct, and that energy is going to be very intense this week. Neptunian energy, the high vibe of it is the mystic connection to infinite spirit, psychic gifts, cinematography, photography, art, music, spirituality. The low vibe is confusion, paranoia, lies, deceit, addiction, drug and alcohol. It's every energy, every archetype has a high and a low, and it's our job to choose how are we going to use that energy. So I want to encourage you guys this week, use this Neptunian energy and get out that dream journal, have that sleepy time tea before you go to bed, or use mugwort essential oil and mugwort tea, whatever it takes to really make going to sleep a ritual. And maybe you need to go to bed a little bit earlier, or really take some time more than you normally would to not be engaging with others or social media before you can sleep. Now I know that's, I'm a parent and that's like, like that's gonna happen. But if you can do it, this week is a great time to really dive deep into that dream practice and a meditation practice. So that's the other thing. When we're in eclipse season, what we think about manifest ever so more quickly. And in general, we're in this wave, this time period where manifestation and our ability to create our life and ourselves it's just going to amplify and get faster and faster. That's the evolution of the human species now. Lizard spirit is also, there's a warning to, are you manifesting that which you don't want? Are you manifesting the nightmare because you're not able to have discipline over this mental body? You're not able to have discipline over your thinking. Now our mental part, right? Our thinking brain, the thinking. This is, from what I've learned, it's almost like even more important than emotional mastery in many ways, is to be able to rein in your mind. And when we're inundated with all these distractions and technology and, not meditating and not really taking space to be in our bodies and to be in nature and to really connect with the animal part of us, the mental, it can just take us off a cliff. So this week, once if you feel that sort of confusion of Neptune coming in, the distortion of what is true, what is not true, and the mental mind taking it and wanting to just run and go to these worst case scenarios, I want to encourage you guys to stop it. One of the things that I do is I actually I see a stop sign in my mind's eye when I'm thinking thoughts that I know are not going to be productive, and I know it's thoughts that I don't want to manifest. I see the stop sign and I tell my mind, thank you so much for watching out for me 24/7. You can take a break for a bit. And then I actively engage in meditation, whether that's a walking meditation, whether that's, putting on earphones and doing a guided meditation, whether that's doing some yoga, stretching, getting outside, walking barefoot, just being around the trees, having a glass of water and just sitting and contemplating, a beautiful cup of tea, or getting into the small, beautiful gifts of the moment, getting out of that racing head. That is going to be so helpful this week as we lead into this eclipse on Sunday. Now, I also, when it comes to Lizard, it's also about your dreams, like what you want in your life, like the dreams you have for your future. And this is where turmeric comes in, because this is like a power plant. It's literally represents the goddess of abundance. It is a cure-all for so many things. It's also when we use it to cook, or this yellow color of turmeric stains, and you can't get it out of anything. And that's why its key word is persistence. This talks about, short-term gratification not being what we want to be looking at. We want long-term gratification. And this says your hard work is going to pay off. Don't try to look at the shortcuts. Don't rush things. Just be persistent in your work towards what you want. And particularly what this brings up for me in eclipse season, it's always about personal growth. Now we can separate it into your finances, your relationships, your career, your health, your whatever. But this is really about being persistent with exactly what I've been talking about. Persistent with, no, I'm going to train that monkey mind. Persistent with your spiritual practice. Persistence with the act of gratitude, really raising your vibration. The persistence of not medicating some of the deeper, darker emotions, memories, or regrets that may have been coming up all of this year. The persistence to believe in your dreams, and the persistence to nurture them. Even when, there's the delays and the rejections and the roadblocks and the mountains that you have to climb. When we pull something like this, we're working with this kind of plant. It's saying, oh no, you will succeed. That is assured. And it invites us to enjoy the process to that success. Because what I've come to learn is every time I have a goal, I meet it. I meet that dream, right? I'm persistent and the dream happens. There's hardly the window between feeling the sense of reward for getting what you want and instantly the mind going, okay, what's next? It's so fleeting. But we really have an opportunity in these eclipse seasons to just let it go and daydream. Like, what do you want? What do you really want? And more importantly, how do you want to feel? Because again, as I began this, sometimes we want what we want because we think it's going to make us feel a certain way. But if you just get down to the nitty gritty and ask yourself, how do I want to feel? And then you let that be your prayer. You let that be the spiritual practice. That you do whatever it takes to feel that feeling with now, before you get what you want. That kind of persistence to work with the emotions of where you want to be. That in an eclipse season, wow. By January, you guys are going to be sitting pretty. So to recap, the eclipses are always where we just take our hands kind of off and just let fate and destiny and infinite spirit, whatever you call it, God, reroute you to your highest vibrational path. You make the wish, you say the prayer, this is what I want, more importantly, this is how I want to feel. And then you let the universe deliver that to you. This takes so much trust and faith, which is why eclipses get such a horrible rap. But indeed, if we were to live that way all the time, we would probably all be healthier and happier. So use this time to hone your ability to believe that you are going to get what you want, and to specifically let what you want be about what do you want to feel. Oftentimes we think, if I get this, it's going to make me feel this way. But maybe there's another route to it, and you don't need that thing you think you do to get to that feeling you want. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for viewing this week. If you're interested in the extended, please come visit me on patreon.com/thegoodwoo. I'm wishing you guys an incredible eclipse that's coming, and we'll be talking before that. We'll speak to you next Sunday about it. Okay, bye everyone.